Today we're stepping back to the 24th of May 1612 and the death of one of the most powerful figures of the Elizabethan and early Jacobean courts, Robert Cecil, 1st Earl of Salisbury. He died at Marlborough in Wiltshire on his way home from taking the waters at Bath. He'd been unwell for some time, diagnosed with 2 large tumours the previous August. He was just 48. But despite his relatively short life, Robert Cecil packed in a remarkable political career, and he did it while overcoming serious physical challenges and navigating the treacherous waters of court politics. Robert Cecil was born on the 1st of June 1563, right at the heart of Elizabethan power, at Cecil House on the Strand in Westminster. He was the only surviving son of the mighty William Cecil, Lord Burghley, Elizabeth I's most trusted minister, by his second wife Mildred Cooke, who was an impressive scholar in her own right. Now, Robert wasn't the typical courtier. He was a sickly child with scoliosis that left his back hunched and his legs splayed. Elizabeth I nicknamed him "my Pygmy," and James I later called him "my little Beagle." Not exactly flattering, but Robert didn't let it stop him. He was brilliantly educated, first at home thanks to his mother's vast library and her skills and her scholarly connections, and then under Richard Howland, who went on to be Master of St John's College, Cambridge. He even studied at the Sorbonne in Paris for a time. By 1584 he was already sitting in the House of Commons representing Westminster. 2 years later, he was on the parliamentary commission that tried Mary, Queen of Scots. He married Elizabeth Brooke, daughter of Lord Cobham and goddaughter of the Queen, and they had 2 children, William and Frances, before Elizabeth sadly died in 1597. In 1591, Robert was knighted and brought into Elizabeth's Privy Council, and just 5 years later, he became her Secretary of State, a post he'd hold under both Elizabeth and James I. Now, Cecil had a bitter rivalry with Robert Devereux, Earl of Essex, one of Elizabeth I's favourites. But Essex made the fatal mistake of rising against the Queen's government in 1601, attempting a coup to weaken Cecil's faction. The rebellion failed and Essex was executed for treason. Cecil, ever the survivor, saw the way the wind was blowing. He secretly corresponded with James VI of Scotland, smoothing the way for his succession. When Elizabeth died on the 24th of March 1603, it was Cecil who read the proclamation declaring James as king, both at Whitehall and at London city gates. James rewarded him handsomely, retaining him as Secretary of State, making him Baron Cecil of Essendon, then Viscount Cranbourne, and finally Earl of Salisbury. He also made him Lord High Treasurer, a Knight of the Garter, and Chancellor of the Universities of Dublin and Cambridge. And let's not forget, Cecil was a key figure in uncovering the Gunpowder Plot in 1605. He even gave up the family estate, Theobald's or Theobald's, to James I, who loved it so much that he insisted on taking it. But in return, Cecil was granted Hatfield Palace, which he transformed into the beautiful Hatfield House that we know today. He served faithfully and skillfully under both Elizabeth and James, but by 1612 his health had declined sharply. After a visit to Bath to try the healing waters, he died en route home on the 24th of May. Robert Cecil was buried at St Ethelreda's Church in Hatfield, and although he's often overshadowed by his father Burghley and his rival Essex, his political legacy shaped the transition from Tudor to Stuart rule. No small feat. So on this day in 1612, England lost one of its great political minds. Hunched and mocked he may have been, but Robert Cecil proved himself a master of survival, strategy and service. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed learning about Robert Cecil, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a Tudor or Stuart goodie.